everyone, my name is Jackie and it's 2020! So I still can't believe we've got a new year, a new decade even, and yeah. Honestly, 2019 wasn't the best year for me, so I'm really hoping that 2020 will be amazing. So today I've got for you my 2019 review and my 2020 bookish goals. So let's just dive right into it with my Goodreads reading stats. I've got my laptop down here, so if I'm looking down there, I just have to check some facts. Alright, so I've read a total of 34,076 pages over 90 books, which isn't my best reading wise, but still pretty good. Yeah, my original goal for 2019 were 120 because that was the amount of books I managed to read in 2018. But for various reasons there were a couple of months where I didn't really read anything at all except maybe fanfiction, which I couldn't count. So I just lowered my Goodreads goal a little bit at the nearing the end of the year, or around the second half of the year, so that it will be something I could hopefully reach. So 90 books it is. I'm glad that I reached them. It's okay for me to have this goal a little bit lowered from earlier years, but it wasn't the original goal, honestly. The shortest book I read in 2019 is Avatar: The Last Airbender, Smoke and Shadows, whichever part you want, because they have all the same length. The Avatar comics are a continuation of the TV series and they're all the same length exactly. So it pretty much counts for all the books from the series I read in 2019. The longest book I read is The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding, which I read in German, and in German the edition has 989 pages, which is a lot. So, the most popular book I read is, of course, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I listened to the audiobook, which was great. It was my first time listening to the audiobooks this year, and they're so amazing. And Harry Potter has been read by 6,353,510 people. That's a lot. And the least popular book I read this year, it's called Wir alle sind die Farm by Guido Simon. It's a German book, there's no translation, it's a really short one. It's a modern take on Animal Farm by George Orwell, you could say, and it has been read by 2 other people. So yeah. Alright. The highest rated on Goodreads was Heartstopper Volume 2 by Alice Oseman, with 4.65 stars average, which is amazing. This comic book series is so great, you should really check it out, it's adorable. Yeah, so that has been 2019. It's been a year. It was the first time ever I DNF'd a book, really, and counted it on Goodreads. I made my own DNF shelf for this book so that they won't count to my challenge, because I don't want them to count. And yeah, that's 2019 for you guys. Yeah, let me know down below something about your reading year of 2019. But now let's go to my 2020 goals. So for this, I've gotten my always fully booked 2020 planner. I will make a video about this planner if you're interested in seeing it. It will probably be up in a week or something like that, whenever I have time to film it, but I really love this one. First things first, my Goodreads reading challenge this year will be 53 books. And that's the reason why. The Goodreads reading challenge really stresses me out because it constantly tells you how many books behind you are, and it's so, I'm very goal oriented with this kind of things. If I want to if I determine to read a specific number of books, I really want to reach them, and I didn't manage it. So, quick recap. I started using Goodreads on the end of 2017, and because it was the end, I never put in a reading challenge, a goal. But in that year I read, I think, nearly 170 books. So in 2018, the first year I really used Goodreads, I put in a goal of 170 books. And nearing the end of the year, I lowered it to 120 because there were some times where I just couldn't read. So I went into 2019 thinking 120 would be a good goal, and if I managed to read during the times I didn't read in 2018 because I fell into a hole and only read fanfictions for I think a month in 2018, then I would of course reach a goal. But then 2019 happened, and once again there were months where I nearly only read fanfiction, and nearing the end of the year there were a lot of personal stuff happening and I just didn't manage to read, so I again had to lower it, and having this number down there telling you you're this far behind always stressed me. So that's why my Goodreads reading challenge goal is 53, which is 1 book per week, which is easily attainable. I will probably be ahead of it at the end of the first month or something like that, so that would be great. And I'm pretty sure I will read at least double of this because my other goals already surpass this goal if I manage to reach them. Which brings me to my next goal, which is to play TBR bingo the whole year. I made my first TBR bingo video in November, but I then didn't make one for December. I explain all of this in my January TBR bingo video, which will be up already when you see this, or shortly after. I'm posting both of them on the same day, so I'm not sure yet. And my TBR bingo is choosing 6 books per month for me to read, which is already a book more than I'd need to finish to reach my goal. The next thing that's even more surpassing my Goodreads goal and my TBR bingo goal is the desperate hope to reduce my physical TBR, which at the moment is a little over 100. I think it's 111 because I unhauled a couple of books. But I want to, at the end of the year, at least have a physical TBR under 100 books, and I would be so happy to reach a physical TBR of only 50 books, which means I have a lot to read and I can't buy as many books this year as I usually do, which, let's be honest, would be a great relief for my bank account. The next goal that's hopefully going to help me achieve my other goals is to read 30 minutes every day, not counting fanfiction. No matter in what kind of hole I fall again, I have to read 30 minutes a day of an actual book. Another goal I have is to read arcs closer to release time. So I don't really get that many arcs. There are sometimes ones in Fairy Loot, and then I was at the book convention in London last summer, and that will be this summer again. So I get some arcs from there, and I want to read them shortly before they're released, or at least so in the month before they're released around. And the next thing is I work in a bookstore and we get free copies of certain books we want, and I want to read those copies also closer to the release date of the book. And another goal is to finish book series, because I'm in the middle of so many book series and I want to finish at least the ones I own. And the last couple of goals are not really pertain to reading per se. The first one is to post a booktube video at least once a week for the whole year. I've been doing booktube for 2 years now and I never managed it. I fall off for months at a time, so I'm really hoping that I can do this. Fingers crossed. The next thing is to post reviews. I've got this amazing planner with a lot of space to write to write reviews in it. So what I want to do is write a short review for every book I read, and then hopefully post those reviews on Goodreads. Or maybe even make a whole video about a book or a book series. That would be amazing. And the last goal for 2020 is to write. I wanted to write a book since forever, but I never managed it. I have a lot of stories in my head that I always play out, but I never write them down. Lately it's been mostly fan fiction, but I also don't write that down, so that's not really helpful. So what I'm going to do for 2020 is I'm going to use this thing. It's The Severed Moon, a year-long journal of magic from Libardugo. I got this months and months ago, and I even started it, but I think I've only wrote in it 5 or so days. So I'm going to try and write in this book every day of 2020, minus the couple of days I've already written in it. And the days I can't write in this, I hopefully will write something else. So that's the goals for 2020. It's a lot. It didn't sound like that when I first thought of it. Now I think it's a lot. Alright, so let me know your goals for 2020 and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!